This is going to be a short little video talking about soft jaws, soft milling jaws, and the G0704 milling machine. So, long story short, I have a couple of non-square things that I want to hold. One of them is this round slug, and I decided to make some soft jaws. So if you have worked around machining for any period of time, you probably know exactly what soft jaws are, and there won't be anything new in this video. But if you're like a lot of people and you're new to this, or maybe you're thinking about getting into this, then you need to know a little bit about soft jaws. So normally when you're holding things in a milling vise, you'd have, you know, the precision ground hardened jaw that came with the vise. You would maybe use parallels, and you'd slide the parallels in against the vise jaw, and then that would give you a, you know, something to rest your part on while you clamp it in between the two jaws. Well, sometimes you may need to hold, like in my case, a non-square or an oddly shaped raw, you know, piece of raw material, or maybe you're doing your secondary operation. You've already machined a part and it's an irregular shaped part. Maybe, you know, it's basically there's no flat edges to hold against, and you want to flip it over and finish it off. So either way, you might need to make soft jaws, and that's exactly what I did. There's basically just two chunks of aluminum that I've you know, machined the bolt hole pattern in, put them in the vise, and I cut the profile that matches what I want to hold. So pretty simple, but works great. So you can see once you see how this works, right, the possibilities are endless. So here, in case you're wondering, are the dimensions for this. This is a G7156 vise, by the way. This is a Grizzly G7156 4-inch milling vise, which I have on my table as shown here. And these are the dimensions I use to mill my soft jaws. So I cut them, you know, basically I used a piece of 3/4 by 1.25 stock. Overall length is 4 inches. The holes are 2.505 away from each other. They're on center. The through hole is 287. The counterbore is 392. The depth of the counterbore is 575, and hopefully I'll hold this still, so if you need to study this, you can study it. And pretty simple stuff, so there you go. When you machine them, so you know, you got to lay out your program. What I did was I created my tool path, and I basically just laid it out with the assumption there'd be a 1-inch spacer in between the jaws. So I laid out the profile through this, you know, 1-inch spacer in between the jaws when I cut it, and everything worked out great. So there you go. Short little video on cutting soft jaws. If you have CNC, you can do that, and the possibilities are endless.